You've heard of GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and they're everywhere right now. But what almost nobody is talking about is this: your body already makes GLP-1 naturally. And when you support it the right way, you get the same benefits and more. Reduced cravings, less inflammation, better blood sugar, sustainable weight loss without side effects, without the cost, without dependency. What actually is GLP-1? It stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. It's a hormone your body produces naturally, primarily in the gut in response to eating. When it's released, it does several remarkable things simultaneously. It signals your brain that you're satisfied. It slows the rate at which food leaves your stomach so you feel fuller longer. It helps regulate blood sugar by supporting insulin response, and it reduces systemic inflammation throughout the body. In other words, it's your body's own built-in craving and appetite regulation system. And it's always been there. The pharmaceutical industry didn't invent it. They synthesized a drug to mimic it because most people's bodies aren't producing enough of it naturally anymore. And the question worth asking is, why not? And then what can we do about it? So here's why your body stops producing enough. What suppresses natural GLP-1 production, and this list will probably sound very familiar, is chronic undereating, highly processed foods, lack of dietary fiber, gut microbiome imbalance, which everyone has in our society at this point, chronic stress, poor sleep, sound familiar, and years of restriction and dieting that have disrupted the very systems our bodies rely on to regulate hunger. In other words, everything the diet industry has been encouraging for 50 years is exactly what's undermining our body's ability to regulate appetite on its own. And here's the critical piece. GLP-1 is produced in the gut, which means gut health is not separate from cravings, weight, and inflammation, as I said, it's central. So your gut is home to trillions of bacteria that directly influence how much GLP-1 your body produces, how well you absorb nutrients, how inflammation is regulated throughout your entire system, and even how your brain processes mood, stress, and reward, which I hinted at earlier. When the gut microbiome is healthy and diverse, fed by fiber-rich whole foods, fermented foods, and genuine nourishment, GLP-1 production goes up naturally. Cravings quiet, inflammation reduces, energy stabilizes, weight begins to normalize on its own. So when the gut's depleted by processed foods, additives, chronic stress, antibiotics, or years of restrictive eating, GLP-1 production stops and your brain starts searching for other ways to feel satisfied and regulated, often through food, often through sugar, often through exact patterns we've been trying so hard to stop. And this is not a willpower problem, it's a gut health problem. And the solution is not less food, it's better, more nourishing food consistently over time. So, what naturally raises GLP-1? The research on this is clear and genuinely exciting. Protein at every meal, adequate protein, particularly at breakfast, which I've been teaching now for 22 years, is one of the most well-documented triggers of natural GLP-1 release. This is why eating enough early in the day is so critical and why skipping breakfast or under-eating protein consistently suppresses your body's own appetite regulation. Fiber-rich whole foods, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, root vegetables, these feed the gut bacteria that produce GLP-1. The more fiber diversity in your diet, the more robust the GLP-1 response tends to be. Healthy fats, nuts, seeds, and naturally occurring fats in quality animal foods all stimulate GLP-1 release. This is another reason low-fat dieting consistently backfires. It removes the very foods that signal satisfaction. Fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, and other naturally fermented foods support the gut microbiome diversity that underpins healthy GLP-1 production in small amounts as tolerated. And eating regularly and consistently, skipping meals and chronic restriction suppresses GLP-1. Regular, consistent, adequate nourishment supports it. Eating more of the right foods at the right times is not the enemy of weight loss, it's the mechanism of it. Stress reduction and sleep are also important. Chronic stress and poor sleep both directly suppress GLP-1. And this is why emotional and nervous system work that I do is not separate from the physical results. It's foundational to them. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Your body was never broken, it was depleted. And it was depleted by decades of diet culture, processed food, chronic stress, and a food system that has moved further and further from what your gut was designed to thrive on. GLP-1 medications work by mimicking something your body already knows how to do, but they don't restore the underlying system. They bypass it. And when the medication stops, the system's still depleted, even more so in many cases. The lasting answer is rebuilding what was lost, healing the gut, nourishing the body, and then addressing the emotional roots that drove the patterns in the first place. So this isn't a quick fix, but it's a permanent one. And the war with food in your body was never yours to lose. It was created by a system that profits from keeping you in it. Your body knows how to find balance. It knows how to regulate hunger. It knows how to release what it no longer needs to hold. It just needs the right conditions to do it. More nourishment, less stress, a gut that's being fed rather than depleted, and the emotional freedom to finally stopping the body that has been carrying you all along. And that's where healing lives. And that's exactly what we're here to build together.